What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Arcade1up's continuing spiral into obscurity. It's come to this. It's absolutely come to this. The company has regressed almost to the point of no return. I mean, I'm sure it is technically possible for the company to get a little bit worse, sure, but I don't think it's going to be by much. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the new Arcade1up Classic SEs. It's funny how the name is the only thing about this product that's growing. It's getting any bigger. The product continues to shrink. The proportions are getting more out of proportion. It's making less sense. The artwork is getting uglier. And it's very, very sad. For long time Arcade1up fans, guys like me that have been here from the beginning, have collected these things. We've had our love-hate relationship. And, you know, we've always said, we've always hoped, most of us have, hey, listen, Arcade1up, if you make something good, I'll buy it. I'm not just going to buy everything you make anymore. We've kind of gone past that. Well, it's definitely not going in the positive direction. It's going in the negative direction. Let's just take a look at it and try to get through it as best we can. So yeah, let's take a look at the Arcade1up Classic SE, and we'll start with my favorite. Okay, listen, right off the bat, let's talk about positives, right? We're going to talk about positives. So the positives are going to be screw cap covers, screw hole covers. There are covers on the side that has been brought over from the Deluxe, so that is a good thing. I'm glad they're maintaining that. That level of finish is definitely appreciated. And okay, that's about as far as I can say when it comes to that. Let's talk about something else, and it's the control panel. So the control panel, yes, it has the covers over the screws, and that's good, but it also extends out over the side panels, giving you as much room as possible for that player one joystick experience there on the left-hand side. So that is definitely a positive for sure. And if you look at what they're trying to do here with the actual, riser itself, the riser is going to be black. Here, let's go. Tell you what, let's go out of here real quick. Let's go over. Let's find, where is it? Let's find the new risers, kids. Where is the new riser? I had it, and now I lost it. Let's type in. And if you want to look up these yourself, just go over to walmart.com, type in Arcade1up Classic SE, and you will be able to see it. I just had it. There it is. So when you see what they're doing with the artwork, the art style here, so you're going to see if they have any more pictures. The way they can cheapen out on the artwork on the side is you digitize the bottom with kind of a black sort of transition, and then that way all your risers can just be black. So that's a smart business move, and it doesn't interfere with the flow of the cabinet, of the artwork, and, it negates the need to try to have something that's specific to the cabinet. That's something that, once again, if this was Wave 1, Generation 1, this would have been a really good thing. And if you take a step back, try to put away all the blind rage and disappointment, something I've put away a long time ago because, listen, I mean, I've known that the company's going downhill for a very long time. Once they disappoint, there it is. Look at that. Speak of the devil. Yeah. Fast and Furious, definitely the turning point for me. That's when they jumped the shark and I was out. But when you go back and you look at these cabinets, and like I said, if you pretend for a moment that this was Wave 1, this would have been a really great looking little cabinet for, the first iteration, the very first thing. And maybe we could have excused the 15-inch screen, the 16:9 display, because we would have told ourselves, well, this is the first generation, surely it will get better. The reason why we can't say that now is because they've gone 17, 19 inches and done it successfully. And now this is an obvious regression. But how much of a regression is it? Well, if you actually take one of these 16 or 16 by 9, 15.6 inch monitors, and you actually hold it up to a actual Arcade1up with a 17-inch monitor, you'll see the contrast, just like this. And just to drive the point home at how ridiculous this cabinet is going to look, I have a 15.6-inch monitor right here. This is one of those portable monitors, you see? 15, just a little over 15.5 inches. One of these little portable monitors you can take with you wherever you go. And this is supposedly the size of the monitor that they're going to be using on the new Arcade1up. So if you just take a look, now remember, this has bezels, top and bottom, okay? And still, You can still see how much smaller this is compared to the 17-inch on the third generation, every other cabinet. Look, take it this way. Take it this way. See how pathetic this is just going to be. So, I mean, it's so cheap. It's so unnecessarily cheap. But what else can you expect from Arcade1up? So you see what I'm saying? It's unnecessarily cheap. It's ridiculously cheap. The contrast when you compare it is just unbelievable. It's going to be a radically different play experience. And I know that I don't think this is the scale, because I think we've seen this same model before with those same jeans in the same pose, and they just swap out different models. They just swap out different models of Arcade1up. But it definitely looks smaller. Like, I think that all the proportions have sort of shrunk, with the exception of maybe the control panel. Maybe that has basically stayed the same, but everything else is skinnier and thinner, and the artwork is just all kinds of jacked up. You know, it's really sad. It's obviously going to be worse. Let's take a look at the Pac-Man real quick. That's going to be, I mean, listen, everybody's sick of Pac-Man, right? And nobody really cares that deeply about Pac-Man, because we've seen so many iterations, but this is just, you know, this is just also really sad. It's just off-center. It doesn't look right at all. And then this is where you really see how bad, like the example I just gave with the 15.6-inch 16:9 monitor, that laptop-sized monitor, you can see the massive bezels you're going to have left and right when you take this thing vertical like this. It's even more outlandish on the Miss Pac-Man. Really stands out because of those dark blue. I mean, look how thick. Oh, wow. Look how thick the bezels are. Those borders on the left and right are insane. Look at this insanity. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Once again, maybe, just maybe, if we were talking about, you know, a first generation, here you can see the actual, yeah, that's not, I mean, move me out of the way. Here we go. Yeah, see, that's not, I mean, like I said, if it's a first generation cabinet, it's a smart move. It's a way to kind of hide your riser, to kind of make that digital effect going on there. So, you know, would have been passable, would have been fine for a first generation unit. I just don't see this, you know, this is just not going to make anybody happy. Long-term Arcade1up fans, current generation one-up enthusiasts, or people that are just discovering Arcade1up for the first time, are not going to be impressed when you consider the other companies are going to be getting into this space, and I guarantee you they're going to have something that looks very similar to this. And the people in this space are going to be companies like Basic Fun that are going to come out with something that's maybe similar to this, right? I mean, Arcade1up kind of peaked, and now they're falling off, and they're going super cheap. Well, now they've sort of lowered the quality or the expectations of the actual 3/4 scale home arcade market, to the point where now anybody can jump in and be on par with Arcade1up. They're not going to try to source a 17-inch 4x3 monitor that's BOE quality. They can just grab any laptop monitor off the shelf, slap it in their crap, and, I mean, what are you going to do? Talk about how Arcade1up used to do it? That's the only way, that's the only point of comparison you're going to have. Now, we do have a little bit of a sort of a window here of opportunity to go out and buy new Arcade1ups that are decent, that are at least the best that Arcade1up has ever built. And I'm going to reiterate what I said on my show last week. I think this proves the point. I don't think that home arcade 3/4 scale machines, these little games, are ever going to be better than what Arcade1up did with their deluxe line. I mean, if you go out right now, if you're interested in Mortal Kombat at all, do not waste $300 on this abomination that they've just vomited out. Go get the deluxe version. Go get it right now. It's still on sale. It's actually $450 right now. And if you go on, if you're a military member, if you've got a military discount with Home Depot, you can go to Home Depot right now and get that cabinet for $50 off. So think about it. It's even more of a reduction. So you can get this thing right at about $400. So just pay $100 more and get a deluxe machine with more games, that's got the riser built in, that's got the lit marquee, that has the correct 4:3 aspect ratio monitor. And listen, the controls are going to be what the controls are going to be. But to be fair, if you did that, if you went out and bought a deluxe right now, which you can still do, there's still time, you are going to miss out on that sweet new box that the new one came in. So I guess there's always a downside, right? Anyway, these are just my thoughts about the state of Arcade1up and what's going on right now. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. Are you disappointed? Are you not surprised like me, knowing that this is sort of the way that the company was going? It wasn't going up, it was definitely going down. And does this make the barrier of entry so low that now anybody can jump in to this market? And maybe if there is a silver lining, that's it. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. You have a blessed day, and I will see all of you next time. Arcade1up, what are you doing?